Humans are fallible creatures, and making mistakes is simply an unavoidable part of life. Although they have a reputation for being confident and self-sufficient, Sigma males are no exception to this rule and are known to have their own set of mistakes that they tend to make throughout their lives. Most often, these mistakes are made earlier in a Sigma's life, and go on to be something he later regrets. Fortunately, there are ways for Sigma males to minimize the risk of making these mistakes. Knowing about the most common Sigma mistakes and how to look out for their warning signs is the best way to prevent yourself from slipping into a behavior that will later cause you to regret. So that's why we're going to go through the list of mistakes that Sigma males tend to regret, and exactly what warning signs you should look out for. Jumping to conclusions about a social event. At no point in their lives do Sigma males tend to be highly social, and they are rarely party animals. Rather than keep a busy schedule packed with social events, they prefer to go to a select few and reserve as much time as possible for themselves. However, young Sigma males sometimes struggle with a tendency to jump to conclusions about the value of a social event without going to it or even finding out the details. Sometimes they dismiss events as frivolous or superficial without considering the possibility that they might actually enjoy it. If you notice yourself turning down invitations without hearing them out properly, you may go on to regret being so dismissive later in life, as you'll never know what opportunities you missed out on. More mature Sigma males learn to be patient and get a full understanding of what they're being invited to before making a final decision. That way, they can be sure that they're using their time wisely and with full consideration. Not letting others in. While it's a well-known fact that Sigma males are the lone wolves of society, sometimes this trait can go too far and end up creating cause for regret. One tendency that is especially common in younger, less mature Sigma males is to shut people out. As they know that they flourish in their own company, and want above all else to remain as independent as possible, some Sigma males go about life thinking that they are better off never letting anyone in. This can cause some Sigma males to miss out on potential friendships and partners that otherwise could have brought them a lot of happiness. As these Sigmas become more mature, they tend to realize that at some point it's healthy to let others in and get to know your inner self. Friends who know the real you are able to offer better support and understanding and tend to be more loyal. One of the greatest lessons that Sigma males have to learn throughout their lives is that letting others in doesn't necessitate sacrificing any independence. Doing anything to avoid commitments. Sigma males don't like to be tied down by their environments, and will often go to great lengths to avoid letting this happen. They tend to steer clear of situations that create heavy commitments and prefer to keep their options open and flexible. While this often works out in their favor, some Sigma males fall into the habit of avoiding commitment as a matter of principle, rather than choice. This can be a highly destructive pattern, especially when it comes to relationships, job opportunities, and being part of a team. Many Sigma males look back on their earlier years and realize that they sacrificed potentially rewarding opportunities simply out of an aversion to commitment. More mature Sigma males learn that some level of commitment can be healthy in life, and carefully weigh up when it's the right time to make such a decision. Forcing themselves into social situations. As most people rely on the social dominance hierarchy in order to live as a member of society, we tend to be met with great pressure to be highly engaged with our social position. There is a great expectation to attend social events and try to aim for popularity among our peers. Sigma males know in their hearts that these expectations mean nothing to them, but the pressure to fulfill social obligations can still sometimes weigh on them. Especially when they are younger and have not quite come to understand their true nature yet, many Sigma males find themselves getting sucked into playing the social game. They might force themselves to join social events or situations that they honestly don't have any interest in, just to fit in. If you find yourself routinely exhausted by the pressure to participate in social gatherings, it's likely that you're denying the natural introvert within you. Introverts benefit greatly from taking the time and space they need to recharge from social interaction. As Sigma males mature and understand themselves better, they come to understand that they don't need to participate in social events, and often regret the times that they forced themselves to in the past. Not creating the boundaries they need. Introverted personalities are united by their need to take time alone in order to recharge. Sigma males epitomize this and are highly protective of their personal space. However, young Sigmas sometimes do not quite realize the impact that this need has on their well-being and don't do enough to create strong boundaries. Letting yourself and others know where your limits lie is key to developing a lifestyle that you can keep up with. If you routinely find yourself feeling exploited, you may be a Sigma male who has not yet learned to enforce the boundaries he needs. Following orders. It is not in the nature of a Sigma male to follow orders. They are the lone wolves of society who like to carve out their own unique way of doing things. Oftentimes, These are men who have highly innovative approaches to getting things done, and others commonly marvel at their ability to think outside the box. However, throughout society, walking entirely your own path is often discouraged, as most people would prefer if everyone stuck to the hierarchy that they're comfortable with. Sigma males can sometimes find themselves yielding to this pressure, and end up in a position where they are expected to follow orders. It usually doesn't take long for them to realize this goes completely against their nature, and pretty quickly end up trying to avoid such situations of being subordinate. Sigma males often go on to regret the time they spent bowing to authority and make it a priority to retain as much autonomy as possible in their lives. If you find that something about following orders makes you deeply uncomfortable and would do anything to avoid it, you might in fact be a Sigma without even realizing it. Doing anything to avoid asking for help. As we've said, retaining autonomy is hugely important for Sigma males. Normally this works out to the benefit of Sigmas, as they can get remarkably far in life standing on their own 2 feet. That being said, there come times in life where it makes sense to ask for help. Being so obsessed with autonomy, some Sigma males make a point out of refusing to ask for help. Even in situations where it could make a huge difference, immature Sigma males will go to great lengths to avoid relying on anyone else, sometimes at great expense. Usually, they go on to regret this indignant attitude, and as they mature, many Sigma males learn how to get over this peeve and ask for help when they really need it. Being too cold or aloof. Sigma males have a reputation for being somewhat mysterious and aloof. Their introverted personality and sharp wit often intrigue those around them and create an atmosphere of mystery surrounding them. However, sometimes this can go on to appear a little too aloof, to the point where they come across as cold or insensitive. Sigma males care little for impressing others and are usually more than content with just their own company, and as a result can often put little to no effort into making a warm impression on the people they meet. If they do come across as cold, they most often do so without any awareness of it. After a time, Sigma males may become aware that their aloof attitude may be alienating to some, and often regret making a negative impression on people. As it's not something they were consciously doing in the first place, many Sigma males have to go through a process of developing self-awareness regarding the impression they make on others. They may choose to put more effort into appearing warm and friendly. If people often comment that you seem cold even when you don't feel that way, you might be a Sigma male simply struggling to be understood. Deny their true Sigma nature. Not every Sigma male will be aware of his nature from day one. In fact, many Sigmas spend the earlier portions of their lives conforming to the expectations of the social hierarchy but knowing deep down that something about it doesn't feel quite right. It can sometimes take years for a Sigma male to realize that he is simply built different, and doesn't need to conform to the expectations of the social dominance hierarchy. Once a Sigma male realizes his true nature, he usually experiences a unique moment of clarity, and finally feels at ease with himself. Indeed, it is common for men who go through this experience to feel foolish for not realizing their true nature for so long. However, over time, most Sigmas come to understand that learning about yourself is a natural process, and there's no point wasting energy regretting the fact that they didn't understand their Sigma nature. Once he finds a sense of ease, the Sigma male can go through life getting to know themselves better and let go of any sense of regret that they may be harboring within them.